Hey guys, it's your boy DJ Reminisce, and I'm back with another tutorial. And today we're going to continue on with that record called Fuck Na Do, which is by Calm and of course Brubdeep. Today we're going to talk about how I mix the music. To be honest with you guys, there wasn't too many music tracks in here, and it was relatively easy to do. In terms of frequency, there wasn't stuff clashing around too much, and I'll show you guys how I did this. First things first, let's listen to the lead synth, and this is what I got from the original mix. I mean, it's kind of there. First thing I did was I stretched it out really wide with this stereo utility plugin. You can actually search this and get it from his YouTube page, which is kind of cool. So let's put this guy in. So this is with the stereo plugin engaged. Without it. With it. See, it's nice. It kind of widens it out a bit. Next, we have the EQ, which is just the default Ableton EQ. I rolled off some low end, about 129 hertz and below. Also knocked off some high end 13K and above, and I boosted around 5K to, get it prominent in the mix. So this is with the EQ in. This is without it. With it. Now, the next thing I want to do is I wanted this kind of powerful in the mix. And the way I like to do that is using stereo imagery. So I got this stereo image plugin, which is the Waves plugin. And I just added a little bit of width so it stands out in the mix. So here's with the width plugin. Without it. With it. That effect is really subtle and makes sense when you actually hear it with all the music in together. It just kind of stretches it out a little bit out of the way. Next, we have this arpeggio sounding sound, which is throughout the record, and it sounds like this. Again, this is without any EQ or any stereo effects. Again, just an arpeggio sounding sound. Again, all I did was add some width to it. I'll play that. Without it. Just kind of stretched it out a little bit. And all I did with the EQ, honestly, just rolled off 30 and below. This is what I typically do in all my songs that I mix. I basically have an EQ as the first part of the chain, and I'll have it defaulted cutoff at 30 and below, except for the bass in most cases. And that's all I did was engaged it. I don't know if you're going to hear this or not. It's more of a feel thing. So this is without it. This is with it. It just kind of tightens it up a bit, and there's no unnecessary low end that you don't need. And again, I didn't touch it. I thought it sounded pretty good the way it was. Next, we have a piano, and this is what the original sound sounds like. It sounds very dark and dreary, so I wanted to brighten it up a little bit. Again, the first thing I did was put the stereo plugin on. So here's with it with the stereo plugin. Without it. With it. Again, it's very subtle, just stretches it out and winds it out a bit. Next thing I did was add some EQ. Again, I rolled off like 200 and below. I rolled off some really, really high top end. I boosted a little bit in the 2K area, and I boosted quite a bit in the 7K, just to brighten it up a bit. Here it is with the EQ. Without it. With it. Next up, I have this sort of siren sound, which is kind of cool. So here's the original sound that I received. Again, first thing I did was add the stereo plugin, and I just left it as centers. I didn't really do anything. To be honest with you, I don't think it's doing anything at all. I added some EQ. Again, I rolled off some low end I didn't need, 120 and below. Again, boosted some 3K-ish, and again, took off some really highs as well. So here it is with the EQ. Without the EQ. So just kind of brighten it up a little bit just to get it to fit in the mix properly. And the last thing I did was add this plugin called AutoPan. I love this thing, man. So what I wanted to do with this, I wanted this siren to kind of move and give it an effect, a cool effect. So when you listen to the headphones, it gives you the pleasure. Now here's the siren with the AutoPan. Now it just depends. Sometimes it'll go from left to right. Sometimes it goes from right to left. I totally left it up to the plugin. All right, guys, the last sort of sample slash synth that I got was this scream. And this is the original scream that I got. So the scream already had some effects. Sounds like it has a little reverb and a little bit of delay. So I couldn't really do much with that. All I did was add the stereo plugin first just to kind of widen it a bit. Here's without it. Last but not least, I added an EQ, but again, it's just an EQ with the bottom end rolled off at 30 and below, just so there's nothing, you know, that's going to come out later on the mix that's going to come back to haunt me. So here it is with the EQ, without the EQ. Again, it just tightens it up a little bit. So last but not least, guys, I had a reverb on the piano, but I did that as an aux. So I'll show you up here. This is my aux right here, so large reverb. And on there, as you can see, I've got a large hall reverb, stereo, and I EQ'd it so it's going to sit nice in the mix. Again, I've just rolled off. I do this on all my effects. I rolled off about 500 and below and like 3K and above. So I'll play this piano track and I'll exaggerate the reverb and you'll hear what I mean. So that's the reverb fully engaged. That's without any reverb. Again, fully engaged. You can hear it's really drowned out. And without it. So there you guys have it. That's how I mix the music on this particular record. All right, guys. So I'll play some of the record with the different music pieces. You can understand how it all sounds and how it comes together. So here's the beginning, and you'll hear the siren sound and the grunt at the same time. And here it is with the lead synth coming in. So there you guys have it. This is how I mix the music on this particular hip-hop song. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more videos just like this, please click on the eye in the sky. Please like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel. That way you stay up to date with the latest greatest information. I'm your boy DJ Reminisce. Peace out.